We're talking to college conservatives and asking them what life is like on college, and hopefully trying to give you a little bit of fire in the belly for standing up for what you believe. Claire.
Well, I guess the thing that we're told that only thing we can control in college is our grades, and that's why we're scared, is because that's the only thing we think that we have control of. You don't have control
Do you believe
about,
that to be true?
I mean, increasing tuition every year.
Yeah, why is tuition increasing?
I don't know, 6% this year, so.
Yeah, it's interesting that professors are, that colleges are increasing faster than healthcare in the last 10 years, and yet no one says a word about that. Yes?
Yeah, I don't want to sound heartless, but right now the government's pushing a program where everyone should be going to college, where over 60% of high school graduates are going to a 4-year program that might not be best for them. And that's really, the demand is rising so quickly that everyone's getting squeezed completely.
Yeah, you don't have to go to college. You don't have to go to college.
Yeah, exactly you, sir.
Yeah. I was a dummy for a long time. But you don't have to go to college. Self-made men. You know what George Washington's really only self-esteem problem came from? He didn't go to college. And he felt, here he was, this admired man. He felt he wasn't up to it because he wasn't, he hadn't been anointed by the smart ones. Please, challenge everything. And let me tell you something. The only thing you can control, is what you choose to do. You can't control the outcomes. You can't control the grades. You can't control everybody else. Nothing. But you can control I know because I've done it. You should see my library. It is the absolute library of a serial killer because I have everything in it. And when I couldn't afford to go to college, I decided to do it myself. And I went into the bookstore and the libraries, and I pulled the people that I thought would argue. If this guy were alive and this guy were alive, man, I'd like to listen to them. I got Mein Kampf and Alan Dershowitz. Okay? I got Nostradamus and Pope John Paul. Have at it. That's the way you learn. You can do it yourself. Have self-confidence. Forget about the grade. Learn. Who cares if you walk out with a 4.0 but no knowledge? Get the knowledge. SC and I have been talking about this for a while.
The good news is conservatism on college campuses is what counts as rebellion these days. And you've heard these stories of these kids who are going out and they're emboldened to become activists. That's the good news. And I don't have to tell you, we're prepared to help them. And in the fall, I don't want to say too much.
I don't know what you're saying.
We don't want to say too much, but over the summer, students should subscribe to the newsletter, keep in touch with us.
It's free.
Because come fall, you are going to have tools at your disposal that you have not had. And I've been there. I've been in college campuses. I went to a bunch of colleges. You're going to have the tools that you need. You will not be alone anymore.
You guys familiar with the 912 Project? Okay. I'm not doing a 912 project for colleges, but I am leaving Fox because if we lose your generation, we lose. And I have to concentrate on your generation. So I'm asking you, if you're in college now, you stay in touch with as many people as you can, and then you tell us what you need, because we're working on some things, so when you come back at the fall, we're just going to smoke them out. Uh-oh, that sounded like George W. Bush. Smoke them out. Smoke them out. Aaron.
You're talking about taking action. I'm a columnist for the Rutgers daily newspaper, the Daily Targum, and I write about usually pro-Israel and conservative issues. And I've been threatened to be sued. I have been petitioned by the outreach coordinator of the Middle Eastern Studies Department to be kicked out of my job. And I've been physically threatened by the same woman coming up to me out of a meeting, pounding her chest,
Yeah.
and saying that she's Palestinian and I'm going to have to get through her before I can
Good.
get to the
You know
bottom
the
of
first
it.
death threat I ever had? First death threat I ever had, and I get a lot of them. I spend over $1 million a year in personal security. That comes out of my pocket for death threats. First one I had was a Palestinian that called me up and said, "You have got to shut up." This is right after September 11th. "Because we are a peace-loving people, and if you don't shut up, I will behead you myself!" And I was like, okay, I don't think you should pipe down. You're not helping the cause.
I had the
Wear that with a badge of honor.
Rutgers earlier in the year originally had a student fee-sponsored program that was going to send a flotilla to Gaza. And luckily, the State Department said that that's illegal. You can't do that. And I was, again, physically threatened by students. You know, these people the people who say that they're full of peace and they're the ones that want to, you know, bring peace to the world are the same people who are telling me that they want to bash my face in with a crowbar.
Listen, I know this. And it's people on both sides, not usually, but there are people on both sides, and you must never, ever become them, because you'll get angry, and you must never, ever become them. But get used to it, because it's only going to get worse, especially on Israel issues. It's only going to get worse. Stand fast and learn courage. Back in a second. Good for you.